Hindi na siya ma-next page or ma-next ano ba?
Hindi po, sir.
Okay.
Hindi po, sir.
Sige lang. Okay, mga 5 lang. Basta importante may mga itsura lang. Okay, so ilan na ba tayo before 10? Okay na siguro na. King Kong. Dalo niya itong i-assistant kay Bungo Juya. May assistant diba to? Hindi ko pwede ka siya lang. Okay. So, I think we will going to start na kasi it's already ano tawag nito? Anong oras na ba? Anong oras na, Miss Maria Vanny Grace CP? Sa orasan mo?
8:23 po, sir. 8:23 po.
8:23. Okay. Sige. Actually, madali na lang yung lesson natin. For final exam, we have only, ipa-shorten ko na lang talaga, 3 lessons na lang. Okay? So, ang mangyayari ngayon, dahil 3 lessons na lang, how is your video? Ba't hindi pa may nag-submit yung video sa Earth Science? Tapos yun na, wala pa. Yung by pair, good, doon na kukuha sa module, magpili kayo ng isang activity, tapos yun ang gagawa niyo ng video, activity or task. So, ang deadline noon, if our final exam will be on October 21, 22.
Hi, sir.
So, again, I will be reminding you on the deadlines of our video on October 15. Dapat may 1 week pa tayo to check yung content or tamang pagkaayos nyo ng video. Okay?
By
Hello?
3 yapon to, sir? By 3?
By 3 ba yon yung groupings natin or by pair?
By 2. By
two.
pair.
Oh, by pair lang siya.
Pair ata po, sir.
Pero kung may
By
sobra,
pair, sir.
oo, kung may sobra na isa, may isang grupo na 3. Okay? So, okay na? Okay. So, kung wala ng tanong, we will going to start with our lessons for final exam. The first lesson, it's all about elements and weather. Next lesson is, based on our syllabus, is earthquakes. And the last lesson is the prominent mountain and volcanoes in the Philippines. Okay, so 3 na lang na lesson. Para bigyan ko naman ka ng rest, no? Mga bright na magid ka mo over ng mga topics. At least kung magturo man din kayo, maybe in junior high school or if you want senior high school, at least na-touch natin. Oo. Kasi kung when you become a teacher, hindi man siya talaga na, halimbawa kung grade 7 science, yung pinaka-basic lang talaga na lesson. For example, yung lesson about sun, konti lang parts of the sun, yung parang gano'n na, that's lesson na naman kaagad. Kung sa junior, oo. Okay? So, now let's proceed with this one. The elements and weather. Okay, so for our content, we will going to discuss for this night about weather, climate, the elements of a weather and the climate, and even the measuring, how to measure the weather. So what is weather? May I request Arjeline Borja to read what do you mean by the word weather? Arjeline? Hello?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, go.
Blurred po, sir.
Ay, blurred pa rin? Hindi siya maklaro?
Ay, okay na, sir. Okay na po.
Okay, go.
So
So
weather
what is
is the day-to-day conditions of a particular place. Most weather phenomena occur in the troposphere just below stratosphere. Weather
yes?
is driven by air pressure, which is the temperature and moisture, differences between one place and another. So these pressure and temperature differences can occur due to the sun angle at any particular spot, which varies by latitude from the tropics. Higher altitudes are cooler than lower altitudes due to differences in compressional heating.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Borja, for your participation. By the way, ayan, i-admit ko muna yung dalawa na nag-request. Okay, so it is said that when we see weather, weather is our day-to-day condition of a particular place. Meaning kaya tinatawag din siyang weather is just a, parang in a short period of time, our condition in a short period of time, specifically in a particular place. So most weather actually occurs in the troposphere. So we have different levels in the atmosphere, di ba? Based on our previous lesson, we have troposphere, stratosphere, ganon. So bakit sa troposphere siya? Kasi most of our clouds is on the troposphere level. So doon nag-occur ang weather. It is also driven by an air pressure, meaning it is influenced by temperature and moisture. For example, sobrang init, no? Sobrang lamig. So the differences, it the by air pressure differences between one place and another. So this pressure and temperature differences can occur due to the sun angle at any particular spot, which varies by latitudes from the tropics. So remember, based on our previous lesson about the Earth, di ba, yung radiation of the sun, it's depend on the angle, meaning on the positioning. There are some areas or places that receive full amount of sunlight. Merong iba na konti lang, merong ganon. Depende siya sa angle, no? So again, varies by latitude from the different tropics. Kung nandito ba siya banda, north siya, pa-south ba, malapit sa Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So higher altitudes are cooler than lower altitudes due to differences in compressional heating. Meaning, when we say higher altitudes, kapag nasa mataas-taas tayo na mga pwesto, they are more cooler compared sa mga nasa lower altitudes. Okay, on Earth, we can say that temperature usually ranges from positive or negative 40 degrees, or in Fahrenheit that is 100 degree Fahrenheit to negative 40 degree Fahrenheit annually. No? Doon na talaga nag-range yung ating mga temperature, ranging niya. So the coldest air temperature ever recorded on Earth actually is negative 89.2 degrees Celsius, or that is 100 negative 128.6 degree Fahrenheit, recorded in Vostok Station, Antarctica last July 21, 1983. So I think up to this day, baka hindi pa ito na-change as the ever temperature or yung coldest air temperature. While the hottest air temperature naman ever recorded was 57.7 degrees Celsius, or that is 135.9 degrees Fahrenheit, at Azizia, Libya. Sobrang init on September 13, 1992. Na halos na imagine 57.7. However, weather is not limited to planetary bodies. So a star's corona is constantly being lost to space, creating what is essentially a very thin atmosphere throughout the solar system. So the movement of mass ejected from the sun is known as the solar winds. Oh, 'di ba? Hindi lang pala ito Ang weather ay hindi lamang limited on the planetary bodies, but also imagine even in the solar system. Okay, so for example, this is an example of a weather forecast, right? For example, today is sunny, no? There are some weather na some sun and snow, cold and cloudy, merong rain all day, snowing, thunder and rain, sun and rain. Okay. Mm. So what are the different types of weather? So we have sunny, we have cold, we have rainy, and we have rainy with thunder. How about climate? What is climate, by the way? Sige lang, meron pa isa na gustong pumasok sa ating class. Sino yun? Kawawa naman. Si Miss Chua. But pa-special gini si Miss Chua ba? So to read what is climate, may I request, sino pa? Talon Data, Danny May. Go. What is climate?
Climate is the average weather in a place over many years, or average weather, usually over a 30-year interval. It is measured by assessing the patterns of variation in temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, precipitation, etc. It takes hundreds, thousands, even millions of years to change. Climate is different from weather in that weather only describes the short-term conditions. The climate of a location is affected by its latitude, terrain, and altitude, as well as nearby water bodies and their currents.
Oh, I think you should now familiar with the differences between a weather and a climate. So a climate refers again to the average weather in one place over many years, or the average weather usually over a 30 years interval. So for example, tatanungin ka, what should be the climate in the Philippines? Meaning you are referring to a 30-year weather. Yung ganon. Unlike na kung may nagtanong sa iyo na, ano bang weather dyan? Sabihin mo, ito, rainy. Siguro mamayang hapon, sunny. O kapag tinanong ka, what's the climate in your place? Alam mo, sabi ka sunny. I mean, yung tapos sunny, tapos mamayang hapon siguro rainy. So imagine when we say climate, it's the average of a weather in a place over many years. So, para siya yung kung ang weather is just a short period of time, happen in a day, or sabihin natin even in a week, a climate means happened in a year. So, this is a um, long-term conditions naman. So, a climate is again measured by assessing the patterns of variation in temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, and precipitation. So there are, when we say in assessing the climate in one particular place, it depends on the patterns of variation. In what? Temperature, iba-iba ng temperatura, humidity, no? Atmospheric pressure, the wind, and even precipitation. When we say precipitation, yung mga tulad ng mga ulan, snow, lahat yon. So it takes hundreds or thousands, even millions of years to change. Supposedly, a climate, bago siya mag-change ng climate in that particular place, dapat it takes mo na hundred of years, thousands, or millions of years. Pero as I said, parang ngayon, lumiliit na lang yung period of time. Why? Because what we have now, the term global climate change, no? Yung parang nagiging abnormal na ang ating climate kasi supposedly on this month or on this year, ganito yung mga climate na ganito, nag-change ka agad, no? So, again, the difference between the two is that weather describes short-term conditions, while a climate is a long-term condition. A climate of a location is also affected by its latitude, terrain, and altitude, as well as the nearby weather bodies and their currents. So, for example, sa atin, sa Philippines, since a Philippine is an island, di ba? We are surrounded with, um, di ba? With oceans. And what else? Marami tayong mga bodies of water. So what did you notice with our weather? Or even our weather conditions? Anong masasabi ninyo? Parang walang absent ang mga bagyo sa
Tropical.
Pilipinas. No? Oh, aside from we have a tropical climate, pero sometimes grabe din yung mga influence na mga typhoon sa ating bansa, no? Alam niyo na yun, yung parang every year na lang, no? Ilang bagyo bag, tinototal niyo rin ba? In a year, ha? Parang naubos na natin ang pangalan na letter A to Z.
26.
26, sir.
Yes, somewhere.
Mga
26.
approximate 26.
Oh, 26. So, imagine, no? Grabe, no? So, pero okay lang, survive ba naman ang Philippines, di ba? At least with that condition, nalilearn natin and we can appreciate earth science as part of the curriculum. Okay? So, this is a presentation, a caricature of the different climates of the world. So for tropical climate, tropical wet, they are colored with green and with blue, tropical wet and dry. For dry, ganitong color, arid, dry, yan. Yung ibang moderate climate, okay, nasa mga Mediterranean, humid subtropical, marine west coast. Oh. Continental naman, this one, continental climate, humid, continental, subarctic. Sa mga polar naman na climate, medyo ice sila dito sa tundra, ice cap, and highlands. Ayan. And yung color white, ito parang di kasi klaro ang picture. Mga non-permanent ice. Okay. So, ito, for example, in this picture, no, it refers to the temperature, the degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Now, what can you say, or what can you say about the picture during the month of January? Hmm? Sige daw. Ano bang ibig sabihin niyan?
Mostly nasa equator, sir. Sunny.
Yes. Okay. And then,
Iba-ibang distributions ang temperature, sir.
kasi as I said, to determine the climate in a particular place, may mga elements siya. Yung sinabi natin kanina ng mga temperature, altitude, ganon. So now let's proceed with the elements of weather and climate. So there are actually several elements that make up the weather and climate of a place. And the major of these elements are, let's focus on 5 elements. We have the temperature, the pressure, the wind, humidity, and precipitation. So the analysis of these elements can provide the basis for forecasting the weather and defining its climate. These same elements makes also the basis of climatology, the study of course within a longer time scale rather than it does in meteorology. So let's start with temperature. Okay. So when we say temperature, it is how hot or cold the atmosphere is and how many degrees it is above or below freezing. So the temperature is a very important factor in determining the weather because it influences or control other elements of the weather, such as, ano yung kinokontrol niya? We have precipitation, the humidity, the clouds, and atmospheric pressure. So again, temperature refers to how hot or cold the atmosphere is. Okay? And how many degrees it is above or below freezing. Second element is the wind. It refers to the movement of air masses, especially on the Earth's surface. Humidity naman is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. Fourth, the precipitation. It is the product of a rapid condensation process. If this process is slow, it only causes cloudy skies. You know? If precipitation also include not only rain sa snow, that is part of the precipitation, the hail, sleet, drizzle, fog, mist, and rain. Now, what is an atmospheric pressure, or another term is air pressure? When we say atmospheric pressure refers to the weight of air resting on the Earth's surface. Pressure is shown on a weather map, often called a synoptic map with lines called isobars. So for example, you know what air atmospheric pressure is also very important for pilots kasi they should maintain the pressure in the air. So kung titingnan nyo based on our example, ayan. So what can you observe? So it refers to the millibars dito the millibars, okay? While on the right side refers to the number of feet. So what can you say about the picture? As the airplane goes higher, what happened to the atmospheric pressure or on the weight of the pressure? Anybody? Hello? Are you still there? Can you see the picture? Please give me a thumbs up.
Labo lang, sir.
Masyadong malabo. Pero kahit malabo yan, imagine an airplane no, traveling in the atmosphere. As the airplane goes higher, what do you think happens to the air pressure?
Mas nagataas, sir.
Okay. Mas tumataas siya ang atmospheric pressure doon. And kapag tumataas ang isang air pressure, what will happen?
Maka-affect sa mobility ng plane.
Okay. So, kailangan talaga, you know, how to balance and how to do some technical skills when you are in the atmosphere. So, here is parang a concept map on the elements of the weather. Kanina, we've discussed first about the temperature, no? And temperature is measured through heat index or wind chill. Another element is the wind, no? So we have wind is measured by jet stream, breeze affected by the sun, or even the gale winds. Another one is for the clouds, yung mga different types of clouds. The atmospheric measure using synoptic maps, high and low pressure, weight of air on the earth. And for precipitation, yung mga different types of precipitation. Okay, so here it is, the elements of the climate. So, as I said, when you go higher, no? Tama ba? Ito ba? Oo. From hot temperature to a cold temperature, no? As you go, as the altitude is high, no? The temperature is lower, meaning yung temperature doon is cold. So, dito naman sa baba, I hope you can see the pictures na. Can you see the picture? Mark Joe, is it clear? Hindi ba siya?
Clear,
Yes, sir.
Not so
Clear
clear
siya.
po, sir.
Okay. Kung sa moisture naman, no? Wet moisture dito sa mga rainforest, followed by savanna, while very dry naman ang moisture dito sa desert, no? Okay? So, ano yung mga climate doon? So kung dito tayo, meron tayong this one is about a tropical climate, no? Ito yung mga areas na malapit sa equator, like Philippines, so we have this. So we have rainforest, savanna, desert. So, tama ba po pronounce? Desert? Iba man yung desert, no? So, desert. While the next climate naman is yung mga temperate climates. Sila yung mga areas na medyo uh, next to the equator or yung isa is lower down the equator. Kaya remember, meron tayong North Pole, may South Pole. So dito sa temperate climate, meron sila mga temperate forest, temperate grassland, meron din silang desert actually. So tayo sa tropical climate, sa tropical regions, may masagana tayo sa mga rain forest, no? Marami tayong mga virgin. Bakit nga ba tinawag siyang virgin forest? No? Hindi sure. Mamili ka mag-virgin forest compared to rainforest. So sa mga temperate regions naman, they have also the temperate forest and the temperate grassland. Next level, sa mga subarctic regions naman, meron silang mga taiga. Okay? Saang mga country ang may mga taiga kaya? Yung mga maraming pine trees, na medyo nag-snow na sa mga mountain. Anong country? Ha? Yes, Mark.
Okay.
Iceland,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Sa mga
Greece, sir.
Iceland,
Greece.
sa Australia, sa Greece. Okay. So, meron silang mga taiga, no? Yung mga, especially yung mga pine trees, yung parang nag-shooting sa twilight, ng mga gano'n na areas, no? Sa atin kasi, hindi masyado tayong ulang mga snow sa atin. Kasi nga, tropical tayo, tropical climate. And the last one is the Arctic. Oo. On that part, uh, yung tinatawag naman natin, yung environment nila doon is meron silang mga tundra, no? Parang example nito, yung sa New Zealand, yung parang mga bundok nila, may mga snow. Arctic regions talaga sila. Yung mga plants nila, parang ganito, yung tumutubo na lang. Ganyan mga nabubuhay sa mga mountains nila. So, how to measure the weather? So, there was what we call the weather station, or places where a variety of instruments are used to record regular data on the weather. And the most important instrument used in the weather station are shown below. So, meron tayong hygrometers, rain gauge, barometers, maximum and minimum thermometers. Okay. So, nandito mo naman na. Wala pa ba time? Hindi pa time, no? Time na?
10 minutes na lang, sir.
10 minutes. Okay,
Wala pa
bilisan
po,
ko
sir.
lang. Kasi apat lang man ito na mga measurements in weathers. First, we have the hygrometers, meaning these are special thermometers that measure humidity by calculating the amount of water vapor in air. So, it is used to measure the amount of water vapor in air. Yung mga singaw-singaw sa atmosphere, ito yung mga ginagamit natin, hygrometer. Another measurement is rain gauge. These are containers that collect and measure the rainfall or any other form of precipitation. So, dyan naiipon yung mga tubig ulan or even snow kung meron, as long as it is part of the precipitation. Levels of rainfall are measured in millimeters. What else? These are very familiar. Barometers used to measure the atmospheric pressure naman. Kung kanina for precipitation, we have rain gauge. For humidity, hygrometers. This one, barometers naman, is for, atmospheric pressure. They may be either a mercury or adenoid, no? Yung mga vacuum barometers. Often they are attached to a pen that charts movements and pressure on a piece of paper. So the resulting chart is called the barograph. So ito yung mga ginagamit natin mga weather forecaster. And also the minimum and maximum thermometers. They are to measure the highest and the lowest temperature in degrees Celsius from the lowest temperature to the highest temperature. So I will not give you assignment. But what you will going to do is to continue answer the activities posted in the LMS. Any questions? Very simple
None, sir.
topic. None. Okay, so very good. So please
No,
turn
sir.
on all your cameras and everybody, let's do the screenshot. Okay. Sino
Mag-smile
mag-screenshot?
din, sir.
Sino nag-screenshot? Si
Ako po,
Mr.
sir.
Pintor.
Hindi,
Okay.
hindi makita ang tanan, sir.
O sige, okay lang Pintor. Lain naman ang background ni Cookin. O, pababanana na naman siya. Mahilig pala si Cookin sa mga banana.
Sir.
Sir,
Okay
lapis
na?
na, sir.
Okay na po,
Ay,
sir.
sorry, lo. Ay, halap. Lain lang yun ang akong ginahuna-huna ba? Wala ko lang kitang ulo-ulo. Oo, I thought yung
Banana.
gipanitan. Ang tamang lapis man di
Banana.
ay or. O banana.
Hello, abis sir, yellow.
Oo. Sorry. Okay, so thank you so much. Keep safe and good night, everyone.
Bye, sir. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, sir. Thank you po. Good night.
Bye, sir.
Ulo-ulo reveal rain. Uy, gago. Naka-record. Pustos. Bye-bye.
Hi.
Hindi ko ka
Hi,
move on.
Gerald. Nakita ni sir sa window. Labis mo na. Sa Jessica. Labs.
Ay, out na rin pinaka-record ni. Spots
Bye.
reveal.
Bye, Gerald. Bye, Danny.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye. Hi, Kuya John Ryan.
Ay,
Kuya
tapos
Brian.
na?
No, join. Join na.
O siya, sige. Bye-bye.
Sorry ka.
Bye. Bye-bye ka muna. Sa. Tiwag.
Pintik ka na naman. Bye, Gerard.